Okay, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Superstock live stream, September 17th. We got a special early Friday morning presentation because we are here with ESE. They're coming to us live from the world famous, the legendary Nürburgring racetrack in Germany at the SimRacing Expo. There's thousands of people. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit quiet. We got a special mic there for Conrad. Conrad, welcome back.
Man, I love being on the show. Even from Germany, I had to connect with you.
Excellent, and we got Niall. He's with the Digital. He's the CEO of Digital Motorsports, the company that's joining ESE. Niall, welcome.
Yeah, I really thought it was important to bring Niall on. Our recently closed acquisition of Digital Motorsports. You got to see this guy's energy and passion. He's a motorsports and digital motorsports encyclopedia. And after this interview, you're going to see why we did this acquisition and why we're fired up and where we're going here.
Niall.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, it's a real pleasure to meet you. I've been watching some of these shows, and we're live here from the ADAC show. We're about to blow it up. If anyone's watching in on this, this is where it's happening. This is the birth of digital motorsports.
Niall, so just to give people an idea, because a lot of people may not be they heard of esports, but they don't know that the sim racing is a massive component of it. There's a whole show. I mean, you're actually at a show right now in Germany. How many people are at this expo today, or how many people are attending the ADAC show?
Well, the physical show itself has about 25,000 footfall. That's with restrictions with ADAC, so everything here is within the guidelines, within the German.
We got the COVID thing. I saw you were in the mask before.
We're fine. We're both vaccinated, so we're in business together. So 25,000 footfall a day, yeah, so that's pretty good. But 8 million viewers expected for the live streams of the races over the weekend in total. Right now, it's a unique event that we have a real world of motorsport event happening at the same time at the Nuremberg track. So that's going to have anybody in motorsport right here in Germany. And across the road, we've got this event, which is the ADAC Sim Expo. For the people that don't know what ADAC is, it's the German Automobile Association. It's got 22.5 million members. With them, and our vision is to keep growing that relationship to make sure that we're in line with their visions and goals. And we're also incredibly proud to be basically the first to market with digital motorsports. That's what the industry is called. That we're creating a new market right now. So sim racing. Go ahead, Jack.
So just to give people an idea, so the motorsports industry, the motorsports industry is like 100 billion. That includes F1, everything. But one of the fastest growing aspects is the esports part, the sim racing, which is, and it's becoming like a huge aspect. I think Ferrari, McLaren, they're all developing in-house, sim racing teams, because essentially what they're saying is, this is the way for them to reach the 18 to 35 demographic. And that's all the brands, everybody wants to reach this demographic. It's interesting. I read earlier this morning that F1, Indy, their numbers have been coming down, like the viewers, but sim racing, the esports, is growing explosively. So essentially all these guys want to really push this as the next thing. And we'll talk about how digital motorsports, your company, fits into this space.
So just to give you some facts on the numbers, the FIA, which is a sanctioning body, released a report this year. So the motorsport industry is actually worth 146 billion. Esports is projected at 22.5 billion this year. Our Juniper report was recently released to say that the fastest growing esports is motorsports. Digital Motorsports is ideally positioned as a 360 solution provider now that we've got ESE on board and we've got the infrastructure and the know-how to broadcast globally to capture that. Basically, we're creating a brand that is professional motorsports for a digital generation. So we have all the Gen Zs. We're completely inclusive. We have a fully diverse roadmap ahead of us, creating truly revolutionary technology that will allow people to race 24/7, 365, online from anywhere in the world once they've got connected to the internet. And on this show, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing with cloud and tech and some other things that we're super excited about.
Let's do this. I think, Niall, what we need to do is we need to show people exactly what you're doing instead of telling. We got to give it a show and tell here. So show us exactly what you're doing.
Well, we weren't expecting. Well, let me start. Okay, just very proud, right? So we've got the Le Mans winning. We got the trophy. So our technology proves that drivers can use our one-to-one racing simulator. We created a model. This was brought here today by the driver who won at Le Mans. We provided a simulator to him. We can get him on the show if you like, but he's won multiple titles. And before we get to that,
bring him on. Show us what. Yeah, show us.
I also want to introduce this, right? So for anyone who's looking, this is the first time this has been shown publicly.
Okay.
Basically, what this does is put 15 years of digital motorsports know-how and technology into a cloud solution, which takes all of the technical requirements from gaming and simulators out of the equation. And basically, if you can hit this red button, it will switch on your simulator. It'll connect you to our cloud solution digital motorsport platform. And all these little buttons right here will tell you whether to race, go online, go to the pits. And if anyone's familiar with an iDrive system in a BMW, it's got a really straightforward navigation. So we're cutting edge. We're taking all of the requirements from people who are in motorsports but don't understand esports. We're breaking down that barrier and make it really, really easy for them with our cloud platforms and with our technology and IP to transition into the digital world. So I'm going to show you what that looks like now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's going for it, Jack. You asked for it, so he's going to show you.
Okay. And what we're going to talk about also is the revenue, because there's some substantial revenues. For some reason, we have not been able to mention that in the press releases. We got to talk. Oh, there we go.
And then show these.
Oh, look at this. You got, got a lot of people there.
We don't mess around.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. So there's a sneak peek. So, you know, as Niall mentioned, 360 solution, but Niall's taking it to the next level with groundbreaking technology, cloud-based technology, and he's creating a system
right here
that's going to bring that huge market together, right?
So Niall, can you talk about like so right now, digital motorsports, right? Let's talk about a little bit about like the products that you're doing right now, the revenues, all that good stuff, and you know how you're going to fit into the ESE, the ESE entertainment ecosystem, where you guys can have some massive synergies and really leverage this.
Well, the number one thing was we were looking for the right partner to come along. We knew we had the product, we knew we had the brand. We are Digital Motorsports. We own that brand, right? And when I met with when I met with Conrad, he had the same vision. We were aligned. Right now, our e-commerce site is the biggest sim racing e-commerce site. All of our suppliers and partners are here. They're thanking us because our vision and aspiration is to turn it into 100 million in the next 3 years of an e-commerce platform. The industry itself is already $1 billion plus. We just need to make sure that we deliver on that. So that's our vision. That's our goal. Deliver on that. We know it's there. What people can't seem to get is that it's just too fragmented. You got communities that are doing leagues. You got communities that are building simulators. You got communities that are building VR and AR and motion. What Digital Motorsports is doing is bringing all of that into a 360 solution. So we can laser scan cars. We can laser scan tracks. We can build simulators. We can run World Digital Motorsports Cups. We can create venues like this and have esports arenas. So we've got everything from an entry budget of like $1,500 gets you into motorsport. Right now, this is a discipline of motorsport that's unprecedented. If you wanted to go racing, you had to go into karting or some other form. You were talking $50,000, $60,000 before you're at the pointy end of a grid. And we're making that from everyone, all age groups from 16 up to 90 was our oldest competitor. We actually had a race where we had 3 generations of a family race together. So a granddad, his son, and the grandson, all in the same race. So it's we're super proud of what we're doing, and ESE have opened up all the avenues for us to execute on that goal and that vision.
Okay. So, Conrad, let me. I guess we got to share the mic. Okay, so, one thing that we haven't talked about, like in previous news releases, is the revenues. Just closed the acquisition of Digital Motorsports just closed. What are the revenues right now? And what are you doing run rate? What's ESE's run rate right now, and how close are we to getting to that 100 million run rate for ESE?
Yeah, so if we look at historical revenues of WPG of 15 million, historical revenues of Digital Motorsports, 5+ million, historical revenues of ESE's organic business at about 2.5 to 5 million. You could kind of put the numbers together. We're chipping away, but we're getting there fast. We're moving up the ladder here for the goal of 100+ million. But the exciting part is when we plug in Digital Motorsports in the ecosystem, the hyper growth potential is evident. We see it this weekend. We see it in the numbers already. We closed 2 days ago and already closing deals that you're going to see. News is coming. We're not waiting, right? So
okay, so it's interesting. I think what people need to realize is essentially you started off the year, or when you first showed up on the platform last December, right? 9 months ago, roughly. So your run rate was, I don't know, 2 million or so. Now you're at 20 million. So it's been a 10x revenue growth in 9 months, essentially 10x revenue growth run rate, and we're going to be.
And if I could get the lawyers to move faster, to be even more. But our acquisition pipeline is robust. We have 100+ million in the pipeline still after this acquisition. The reality is this is as fast as we could go. We're working day and night. I mean, we're at the event all weekend, all the way through Sunday. We're live. We're not making excuses. We're building a monster here. And when Niall says he wants to go 100+ million on his business alone and $1 billion+ on his business alone, you think I'm not fired up about that? He wants to go $1 billion+ on his own.
So I think it's important for people watching this, for investors to understand that this is not just like a roll-up strategy. There's actual, organic growth is part of the big story, because you're basically riding a massive opportunity, which is like you got the sim racing, which is layered on top of the whole boom in esports and everything, and you have you're getting right now tremendous revenue growth organically. Niall, so can you talk about like what your vision is to get to 100 million for Digital Motorsports in the next 3 years? Talk about that. Like, how are what's the path to get there?
Okay, so like straight up, the numbers are already like we're aspirational in terms of where we're going. Our goal is 100 million. I'm just waving here in the background because the president of the FIA has just walked by waving at us. We did a big news release in terms of partnering with the FIA. To put that into numbers, I'm smiling because he's waving here in the background. The FIA opens up an avenue to over 330 countries, ASN clubs. So we're going to use that network to sell products and simulators. So our roadmap is very much aligned to, we have an execution plan that we're just going to build it slowly so we can make sure we can ramp appropriately in terms of production from a production side, and that we can also match from a support with WPG and infrastructure from other acquisitions in the pipeline that I've seen from a broadcast and event management point of view. But then the aspiration and our vision is to get to 100 million by using these channel partners on our e-commerce platform and delivering simulators into areas in the world that don't have access to it right now, and building our community at the same time, and building the relationships and partnerships at tier 1 level with like IMSA, FIA, VCO, all of these governing organizations. And we're going to build a platform that is a professional discipline of motorsports that will mean that you can only race within Digital Motorsports if you have our equipment, if you have our simulators, if you are buying into our ecosystem. And that's how we're going to build a 100 million+ e-commerce system. So it's all going to be through the cloud. It's all going to be tech. You will be seeing people buying into this. This is a prototype right now, but it works. We can demonstrate that. So it's a subscription model with
Okay.
infrastructure, with product, with service, all wrapped up into a global market that we've channel partnered into. And 3 years is our goal, but it could happen a lot quicker than that, to be honest.
Okay, so you mentioned subscriptions, because the market loves to hear about recurring revenue. Subscription model is the big thing.
Right.
So what's your subscription model? What are you going to be? What is somebody going to be getting? What are you selling exactly?
Okay, so it's thanks for that question. Great question, Jack. Our model is based on the traditional one of is a freemium. So you will come in, you can race, and there's no issue. Just join our community and race away. Then we're going to have what we call professional racer level. So that's where you can come in, you can join our races, and there's actually tiered championships within that, all the way up to national and global World Cup. So we're proud to announce that we're finally, I have the infrastructure backing and capital to do a Digital Motorsports World Cup. So we're doing that. That's happening this year.
Okay.
To join that type of race, you'd have to have a pro race subscription, and then we actually have what we call the ultimate. The ultimate package will be our top tier premium package. Again, just coming back to the box, it'll make sense right now. It ties up everything from the WPG ESE infrastructure side. So with that, you get academy training. With that, you get coaching. With that, you get support 24/7, 365. If you're sitting at home on your simulator, and you have the premium ultimate subscription, you can basically get someone to dial into your PC, give you support, give you coaching, help you through the whole uplift and technology curve. So free, everyone's in.
Okay.
Pro racing, you can join our racing leagues and win real prizes, real money. Okay. And then the ultimate one is like an academy with everything, bells and whistles.
So how much, do you have an idea of what the pricing is going to be right now? Do you have the numbers?
Not right now. Right. So we're in discussions, but it's going to be accessible. Okay. It's going to be realistic, and it's going to be value driven.
And when are you going to launch the subscription model?
Right. Again, a great question. So right now we're just sitting down with our final development team. We look to launch that in 2022. Okay. Early 2022 is our aspiration, and then we're just going to ramp up into 2023 as well. So we'll have everything, as I was saying, with a 100 million e-commerce website, with the subscription model, with the products, with our partners. That's our goal and aspiration right there. Okay,
so essentially launching in early January, February time, you're going to launch the subscription package.
Yeah, Q1 2022. And the exciting part is, we mentioned it earlier, you have these organizations like ADAC that have 22 million subscribers currently, and we work with them. So imagine that opportunity. Imagine the opportunity teaming up, as Niall said, with the FIA, which you signed a partnership with. They also have numbers like that. The sky is really the limit here. And we're sitting on something massive. The opportunity is glaring. If you're at this event, it'll smack you right in the face because it's that big, and everyone's buying in. You mentioned it: Porsche, Lamborghini, Bugatti, you name it, they're in this thing, and they're embracing it too. That's the exciting part.
So, Connor, I want to ask. So, it looks like right now, because your existing business, you have these. Excuse me, you have these partnerships with Porsche, with Kia, these kind of branding things for esports. It seems like like we talked about it on the previous live stream. You're kind of building this kind of dominant position in the motorsports part of the esports market. Is that the goal, or are you going to go beyond motorsports for ESE? Like what's the idea here?
People need to understand we are creating a global infrastructure. Digital Motorsports is a standalone billion-plus opportunity, but we have several pillars. As I discussed on our previous show, we still have production, media rights and events, marketing and sponsorship, our own professional esports league, our own leagues and events. That's what people really have to understand. We're bringing everything into a 360 solution. So when Niall wants to scale and do a global event, He doesn't need to look anywhere. We have all those capabilities internally to execute that. If Niall wants to scale his e-commerce platform and he needs customer service, fan retention, we have that in our ecosystem. If he wants to do a marketing with Porsche or any other car manufacturer, we have that in our ecosystem. People need to understand we're creating an A to Z 360 solution. Everything stays in house. Every revenue dollar stays in house. Every profitable dollar stays in house. That's the solution. ESE.
Okay. Now, no. So essentially, these the kind of the tournaments, the championships you're going to be doing for people for these subscribers, right? So essentially, is the way it could work essentially is you're going to have you're going to have the tournament, and let's say Porsche or somebody could be, or Kia from ESE, they could become a sponsor, and so it's a whole turnkey solution. You got memberships and everything, and then there's an actual cash prize for the winner of the race.
Well, we might be announcing something soon that's more than a cash prize, but we're for all our listeners, everyone watching in, this would be the message I would give. Traditional motorsports like F1 or NASCAR usually have 20 guys, girls on a track driving around, and you might have 30, 40,000 people in the stadium watching them. What digital motorsports is it turns that on its head. We get 30, 40,000 people entering a competition, and maybe the viewership could be lower. We're not worried about that. What we're telling our brands like Porsche, like BMW, like Mercedes-AMG is you need to engage with a new community right now. If a 14, 15, 16-year-old is driving your car in a competition, they're already building their brand affiliation right now with your brand at that age. When I was many years ago, a small kid, it was like
a wee lad.
Yeah, a wee lad, right? It was like posters and Scale Electric and little model cars. That's how I got engaged with brand. Now it's all through esports and gaming. So we'll scan the cars. We'll make one-to-one physics, absolute dialed-in cars. And the idea here is not to have like 20 people racing and 30,000 people watching them. We want 30,000 people to take part and flip it on its head. So sponsorship and brands are starting to get the idea now. They're saying, oh, okay, you can put my brand into the living room of every house in the world. That's aspirational. And have a competition that's only Porsche or only BMW or a mix or whatever, or Mercedes-AMG. And we're like, yep, we can do that right now. We could switch it on tomorrow if we had to.
Let's jump to some audience questions. This is the best part of the show. So anybody with questions, please pop them into the
It's a great question, but I love this question if I can answer this one.
Okay, so Kevin is asking, any plan to adopt VR or AR to the simulator?
Right, so let me make this clear to everyone out there. We are VR or AR experts. We're at a show right now in the middle of a global pandemic. We can't put VR headsets onto people. We can't bring that technology here. However, our motion simulators are the only simulators in the world which are created specifically for VR headsets and AR. So for anyone who's driven in a race car, as the Gs load up, our technology will stop as your head in a VR headset hits the side of the car. Usually within VR up until now, you can put your head outside the car and the VR technology got confused. We figured all that out. So professional motorsport drivers like, this is it. We built all that into a helmet. So we've prototyped that as well. We don't know if that's the right way to go right now, but we're partnering with the right people. We currently, we love HTC Vive and Optimus. We love you guys out there, but we've got some interesting developments in the pipeline as well. So if the question is AR and VR, are we going to do it? We're doing it. We're the best at that. So that's what we love, and that's where we see the future of this going. Yeah.
Now, I think earlier when in the show you showed like the trophy. Are you saying a guy won the Le Mans race? He trained for it using your system. Yeah.
So let me talk about that for a second. He's here, but we've got the engineer from F1.
Bring him on. We gotta hear live testimonials.
The guys are behind us. We'll see. No, we'll leave them. It's fine. Is Tommy there? He's gone, is he? Right. This guy went to Le Mans in this car. We 3D scanned it, so that's a photograph of it. He presented me with this today, which is great. So we did a one-to-one scan of the car. So it didn't just look like the car. It didn't just sound like the car. It actually drove like the car. He was able to practice Le Mans 24 hours every day before the event, which is unprecedented. But on top of that, his race engineers and teams were able to use that model to dial in their race strategy for the whole of Le Mans. He was in the LMP3 class. He came here this weekend to thank us. He brought his trophy as we're showing, right? He was on the podium. And he's proven our model works. So I like to use the expression, eat your own dog food, Jack, right? So I went to, my first step at racing was I scanned the local track. I'm Irish, I'm from Dublin, so top of the morning to everyone. I scanned the track, my local track in Ireland. I created my own simulator to test it in Miata. Went to the track, proved that the technology works, won the championship in my rookie year. And then I met my co-founder, Rob King, who's from the UK. He's a professional motorsports driver and instructor. And we start building this technology to the point where we have it all into a box. So we put everything we know into this. And we're now creating future world champions. So Le Mans is probably the biggest race in Europe. We're looking. We've other exciting opportunities coming our way, and of course, I won't say too much about it, but just believe me when I say this. This is revolutionary. This is digital motorsports. There is nothing above this.
So there's really kind of two things. They kind of tie into each other. One is with your technology, this kind of rig that you set up, right? The whole complete setup. Somebody can actually train for a real world, a physical race, like this guy was training for Le Mans.
That's the point.
And then at the same time, it's good enough that this is as close as anybody can get to physical race. I mean, if it worked for this guy to win Le Mans, for sure, it could. Anybody who wants to race, this is as close as they're going to get without pouring gasoline into the engine.
We should probably do this is live right now, but I'll write up a blog or a white paper on who we're working with, the success they've had. We've worked with 3 times drifting world champion James Dean. He uses our simulator. He helps us to dial it in. Multiple FIA world champion. We're working with Le Mans teams. We're working with F1 teams. We're working with everyone in the industry right now. They're using our technology, and they're converting that into success. So to make it very clear to everyone who's watching in, our entry point is 1,500 euros. That's unprecedented. 10 years ago, that technology was not available at a domestic level. That was F1 technology. And we've got a roadmap all the way up to 100K simulators that are every bit that McLaren or Mercedes AMG are using right now to train their drivers. And we're bringing that to a domestic global market at a price point that just cannot be matched. On top of that, we're bringing the service and the racing and the leagues at a professional level. We're partnered with the FIA, so they are the top governing body in the world. We're racing to their rules and regulations. You can see the press releases. Just keep watching those news streams. It's coming out day by day. As Conrad said, we just need to get the lawyers cranking it out. But I'm looking at people walking by the stands. They're all top-tier motorsports people. They're giving me a wave. They're nodding. They know they want this technology because they have a fear of missing out. If they're not using our technology, well, guess what? When you're not practicing, someone is. And when you meet that person, they're going to beat you because they're using the best kit.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I saw this thing just recently. I was talking to Conrad about there's an F1 guy who's got a big YouTube channel, and he does these demo. Nico Rosberg, this guy Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, ex-world champion. Yeah.
He does demos of different tracks, and it's like and you can see this on YouTube. It's like amazing. It's like the real deal.
Just to that point. So within this box right here, we're also partnering with Corsair Elgato. So that'll be coming in news. The guys here in the background smiling at me. That's probably not meant to have gone, but it's fine. This technology.
What is that? What is Corsair? What is that exactly?
So this is a stream deck. So this
Okay.
Look it up on the NASDAQ.
look it up on NASDAQ. Yeah. So this will enable everybody to become part of that streaming community. So you're talking about one or two F1 drivers who are streaming, get millions of hits. Well, guess what? Everybody wants to do that. So this box is also a stream deck. So this will allow you to go live on the internet, stream exactly like Lando Norris or, as you were saying, Nico Rosberg, and basically have the same quality streams, the same abilities that they have to create your own digital driver persona. We're trademarking that. Digital driver, right? So that's our brand, that's our name.
You have some
We're
good
creating.
names. You got Digital Motorsports, Digital Drive. Those are pretty good brands.
We got the Digital Cup as the vision, right? So we're aspirationally going to create the Digital Motorsports World Cup. That's why I'm so fired up here and passionate. That's been my dream for like 20 years. To have a global community of drivers who are professional and want to take this serious. Believe me, these simulators are a big investment. But so is motorsport. So this isn't gaming about anymore. This is if you want to come racing and you've got the space at home, you might have a budget to allow it, but you might be restricted with time. Well, guess what? Our racing is set for you. It kicks off 8 p.m. Wednesday nights, and we stream it live. And we're going to be doing that in every single country. So we started off in Ireland. As we said, we eat our own dog food. So we're partnering with Motorsport Ireland. We've recently sat down with the Polish ASN as well. We're doing good things there, and keep an eye on the news. And guess what? We're here in Germany. So if you watch that pattern, we're slowly moving through the world, and we're just on the map, ticking off the different countries, right?
Yeah, no, it's interesting that the sim racing essentially is it's probably, I mean, it's almost like it's like, I don't want to say it's an alternative to the real deal, but it's pretty much the same. I mean, the racers who are doing the sim racing, they're saying, hey, it's like the real deal. Like this guy, I saw this Nico guy saying, hey, it's like the real thing.
So what I'd say to that, and for everyone watching in, believe me and see it in me, I've been working every hour I can get. My passion is to deliver a professional discipline of motorsports. That's my goal. That's my vision. That's why I'm here. I'm doing that. Conrad's enabling it. Sim racing is too fragmented. This is my community. I've been part of it for 20 years. Everybody is crying out for this because what we're doing is we're bringing all these fragmented communities, all these little passionate Discord communities and clubs and people, and we're going to give them what they want. Digital motorsports. That's it. It's going to be the same as F1, NASCAR. This is the championship. This is the one you're going to win. It's no longer sim racing. This marketplace is now called digital motorsport.
Interesting. Oh, I see where you're going. You're basically taking it to a whole. Not just it's its own thing. I get.
It's
okay.
Professional now. It's its own thing. It's a whole new market.
You mentioned something interesting. You mentioned something about like the drifting. That's like a whole category in itself. So your thing allows for the drifting. That's
well. It's very important that we say this. It's digital motor sports with an S because we want all of them. So we're not just going to do F1 or NASCAR or IndyCar. We're going to do drifting, karting. We're going to do Extreme E, rallying, everything. Basically, anything with 4 wheels or 2 wheels, that's a motorsport. We're going to be doing it. And if I was to give a slight hint to where this could potentially go, just think of where MMA brought mixed martial arts, and now start thinking about motorsports. And when people say, I wonder who's the best. Is it the NASCAR? Is it the F1? Is it the rally car? Is it the MotoGP guy? Is it, we're going to drag racing. Yeah, everybody gets to be part of digital motorsports. It doesn't matter who you are. You're welcome. And that's one of the things that I'm passionate about. And I'm going to make sure everyone who wants to go racing gets to go racing.
So essentially, so you're kind of the core thing that you have right now is this like, am I using the right term? The rig, the setup, the racing rig. It's $1,500 roughly.
Entry point, yeah.
Entry point, and it goes up. So you have setups that are more expensive.
Yeah. So all of our simulators are designed to be upgradable. So your entry point's $1,500, and then we can basically, there's an upsell model where if you want to get better steering wheel or better pedals or better PC, better screens, better VR headset, better seats. It's all modular, so you can work your way up through that. But we've also got mid-tier packages, which are about $8,500 US. That's as professional as you need, but it's without VR, without motion.
Okay.
After that point, you're getting into motion systems, which are state-of-the-art, cutting edge. We've got some very exciting news coming there as well. So stay tuned. Watch the news channels. And then we're building basically a whole new package of digital motorsports. So let me make this very clear. Maybe I'm being a bit unclear. We're going to create simulators that are designed for AR and VR. They're going to be one-to-one realistic. So these are not toys. These are not something you drive with your thumbs on a game controller and beat Lewis Hamilton or the Nico Rosbergs on an Xbox. This is motorsports in a digital generation. Our simulators use real seats from real cars. The steering wheels are real steering wheels from real cars. The pedals are real pedals from real cars. It feels like driving a race car. And we will build that for a drag car, a go-kart, an F1 car. It can do rallying. It can do everything. And the proof is, look at the people who are buying our simulators and look at the success they've had post-COVID. So they were all racing on our cup and racing on our simulators over COVID. They're all getting signed now by big factories and big teams. And drivers are getting switched on to this idea that if you turn up at McLaren F1 or Mercedes or NASCAR, the first question the race engineers or the team boss going to ask you is, what's your experience with simulators? That's it. That's the question you're going to be asked. So it's no longer an option to go. If you're a professional race car driver, you have to have simulator know-how. And we've simplified all that down into one easy-to-use solution, 360.
Interesting. No, sounds some amazing stuff. All right. So, kind of with that said, what's next for ESE? We're at roughly 20 million run rate right now with the combined. So you're basically, again, 10x growth rate from where you were last December to right now, 20 million plus. What other acquisitions, organic growth? What's next for ESE? The next, let's call it, next 60 days. What kind of news flow can we expect?
Yeah, that's the exciting part. As I mentioned, our pipeline, I always maintain it at 100+ million at all times. We have multiple irons in the fire. Watch the news the next 30 to 60 days. We're going to be very active and we're going to keep pushing. Now that we've done digital motorsports, I wanted for the fans and just for investors to hear from themselves, look at the passion. These are the type of people that we're bringing into our ecosystem. You think this guy's not excited? These are the type of people you invest in. These are the type of people you want to be a part of. This massive opportunity, the passion. He's going to outcompete everyone. He's going to outwork everyone. I'll do the same. And you'll see the news. We're going to keep delivering on acquisitions. We're going to keep closing acquisitions. Don't forget, you mentioned the run rate, 20 million. We also closed 3 acquisitions in the past 9 months. I mean, we're moving at a really fast pace. And the acquisitions are going to get bigger and bigger down the line here.
I think also a key thing to add is that it's not just acquisitions, but each one of these has their own, organic growth. Like digital motorsports. The plan is to get to 100 million, within the next 3 years. You got a path to get there. So this is there's a lot of stuff happening here. So in theory, I mean, 3 years from now, you could be doing $1 billion revenues if you have, all the right stuff. You have 10 of these things put together. Why not? And
that's the whole point. And I want viewers to put those pieces of the puzzle together. If we have 4 or 5 pillars that have an opportunity to do those type of numbers, I mean, do the math, guys. We're building something big. This is not, let's get to 100 million. No. Let's build all the business lines to 100 million. $1 billion plus is my baseline. Let's go bigger than that. That's the whole point. We want to go big. And Excellent. We've had these conversations and we're not hiding. We want to go build something special. And if you can't tell the passion and the fire, I mean, go invest somewhere else. We want guys that believe in what we're doing.
Excellent. Conrad, on that note, I want to thank you. I want to thank Niall, and we'll catch up with you guys on the next live stream. Niall, thank you.
It's a real pleasure, Jack. Thanks everyone for joining us from ADAC, and yeah, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Conrad, again.
Thanks, Jack. We'll be on again soon.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.